Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to today's lesson on healthy living. Today, we're going to be talking about healthy eating. And in particular, we're going to discuss the MyPlate model of portions and eating of the 5 food groups, okay? So last week, we learned about health and what health encompasses, right? It's all about exercise, eating right, getting enough sleep, taking care of your mental and emotional state. So this week we're going to talk about healthy eating, what it means to eat well to provide our body the necessary nutrients and energy that it needs to function. So what is healthy eating? Well, healthy eating refers to making good food choices for each meal using the 5 food groups. When we eat healthy, we provide our bodies with just the right amount of nutrients and calories or energy that it needs to function and be strong. So healthy eating is about making sure you're making good food choices, but it's also important to make good portion choices, okay? Because if we eat too much of something, right, you might have heard the phrase, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. The same applies to food. Too much of good food can also be bad, all right? You want to make sure you're eating just the right amount. So let's talk about what the 5 food groups are and some previous models that you might have heard of when it comes to healthy eating. So the 5 primary food groups are grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and proteins, okay? Some people, they also lump fruit and vegetable together so that it's grains, fruits and vegetables, dairy, protein, and fats. It just depends. But as long as you are eating something from these 5 food groups every day, you are in good shape. So before we used my pyramid told us how many of each food group, right? They all had a certain section of the pyramid. And so my pyramid told us, okay, in order to be healthy, this is what we should be eating daily. But it didn't tell us how much we should eat for each meal. It just gave us examples of what to eat, and it kind of gave us examples of portions. So we've moved on to the MyPlate model. The MyPlate model is much better because it's more visual and it lets us know how much of each food group to eat and what foods to avoid. You might have also heard of traffic light foods. I still think traffic light foods, in addition to MyPlate, is really helpful, just so we know how often we should eat a meal. So green light foods are go foods. You can eat these all the time. These include fruits and vegetables. Yellow light foods are sometimes foods. These are foods that you want to eat in moderation, that you want to eat mainly for your main meals, okay? These aren't snacking foods. So your breads, your tortillas, eggs, these are foods that you would want to eat during meals. Red light foods are foods that you should avoid only on special occasions. Things like cookies, fast food, donuts and pastries, okay? Chips. These are foods that you can eat every once in a while, but you don't want to eat it all the time, okay? So red light foods are foods to avoid. We eat them sparingly. All right, so now we're on MyPlate. So MyPlate is the current health guidance we use to establish healthy food portions for each meal. So notice in the picture the sizes of each of the food groups. We have here fruits, grains, vegetables, protein, and dairy. Which of these food groups are largest? It's vegetables and grains, right? So a primary portion of your meal should be vegetables and grains on your plate. It should take up that amount of space. Which are smaller? Well, the smallest is dairy, followed by fruits and protein. You want to eat these in moderation too. That way you don't overwhelm your body. It's a lot for our bodies to process to eat protein. And also fruits. Fruits are high in sugar, even though it's natural sugar. So your plate should look like this once you have your food on it. You should have enough grains or carbohydrates. You should have fruits. You should have more vegetables than you do protein. And you should have just a little bit of dairy. That can be milk, that can be yogurt. There's different sources of dairy, right? So when we eat according to MyPlate, we can maintain a healthy weight, increase our heart and muscle health, and increase our cognitive performance. You might have heard the phrase, you are what you eat. While that might not necessarily be true, what you eat provides fuel for your body. So in a way, it is kind of true. All right. And so if you eat better, you'll notice that you'll perform better, you'll feel better. So I like this picture to the left, this diagram, because it has examples of what you can eat. So not only does it tell us how much of each food group, it gives us examples of what we can eat for each food group, okay? So according to this one, it says eat whole grains. Whole grains are bagels, granola, muffins, oatmeal is excellent, and popcorn is good for you. Go lean when it comes to your protein. So things like chicken, beans, fish, lean meat. When they say lean, they're telling you to stay away from fatty meats, from red meats, and from processed meats, things like bacon, steak. While you can eat those, do not eat them all the time because it's actually not very good for your heart health because it's high in fats. Vary your veggies means don't just eat the same vegetable over and over again. Switch it up. Eat vegetables of different colors, right? There's broccoli. You can eat some pumpkin, sweet potato, peas. There's spinach. There's so many wonderful vegetables out there that are really delicious if you season it right. And it takes something as simple as seasoning. And you don't even have to use salt. You can use salt-free seasoning like Mrs. Dash. That's a really healthy alternative. So there's ways to make vegetables delicious without sacrificing nutritional value. Focus on fruits. So when it comes to fruits, eat things like apples, bananas, berries, grapes, oranges, peaches. These are high in vitamin C. They are also high in antioxidants and various minerals that your body needs, like potassium. So make sure that you do eat fruits, but just eat them in moderation. Don't eat too much because that's a lot of sugar that your body's processing. And finally, for dairy, get calcium. So whether you're eating cheese, milk, or yogurt, you want to choose lower fat items. So if you're getting milk, get 2%. If you're getting yogurt, get fat-free or 1%, okay? Again, you want to have good heart health and make sure that you're providing your body just what it needs. And lastly, it says go light on oil. Go light on fats and sugars. Oil actually isn't even a part of the MyPlate diagram because it should encompass a very small part of your diet. Those would be your sometimes or your red light foods, okay? Foods you can eat every once in a while, but you shouldn't eat a lot of, and you shouldn't eat all the time. So we're going to talk about this more in depth in our lesson today, and I hope that you guys are able to practice this at dinner tonight or at lunch and just take note of your plate. What does it look like? How much of each of the food groups do you have? Does it look like MyPlate? If not, what can you do to make it look like the MyPlate diagram? Okay? Take care, have a great day, and I will see you guys later.